Welcome, everyone, to a special episode of Rangers Ed, presented by Lucarelli Law. If you're in Florida and need a lawyer, make sure you call Lucarelli Law and tell them the boys at Rangers Ed sent you. This is your host, Cousin Ed. I'm here with Coach Ed. Little Ed is on his way. What's up, Coach? How's everything going?
Going on? What's up?
We got a lot to cover in this episode. You ready for
exciting.
You ready for 3 hours? You're going to need an intermission, I think, at some point.
I'm going to definitely need an intermission. Where you could play some Ranger highlights of the past.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, in previous years, we did our end of year awards after the playoffs. You know, this week I went back and I was listening to a few of those episodes, you know, just to kind of see how they went, see who we picked, whatever. And there was a playoff bias in every single one that we discussed. We're like, we should have did this after the regular season. We shouldn't have waited till the playoffs. And this year we don't have to worry about that, I guess. So that'll be fun. We'll get to that in a little bit. For those of you who are new listeners, we do, you know, we have our own section of awards for the Rangers. We named them after Ranger-related players and things. So that'll be fun. And we're also going to do a quick stay or go session. Coach Ed, going to talk salary cap with you real quick. Don't worry. It'll be pop quiz style, nothing crazy, but we'll look at some of the restricted free agents, unrestricted free agents that the Rangers have, and some of the players under contract who maybe you want traded. So we'll look at that and we'll pick stay or go for each of them without any like crazy detailed analysis, but that'll be fun. And we'll also give you an update on the brackets now. We're in the middle of the second round. Dude, did you see – this is not Rangers related, but did you see that Sam Bennett play on Stolarz? I mean, I saw your text on it. You agree with me. That was blatantly intentional.
He didn't even, pull away. He leaned into the elbow. I'm like, how did they not call that?
I know, and I saw the analysis. I think it was Craig Button, whatever his name is. He's like, oh, he didn't throw his elbow or anything. He just skated through the, to the front of the net. I'm like, yeah, but he intentionally skated.
He literally dropped his shoulder.
Yeah, he intentionally skated with his elbow there, ready to hit Stolarz in the head. Like he just
right. He could have avoided that.
What's up, boys?
Yeah, that was crazy. What's up, Little Ed? Where in the world is Little Ed San Diego now?
Utica, New York.
Utica, okay.
Utica.
I had a nice stop in Niagara Falls. I sent you guys pictures and videos. That place never gets old. I can go there all the time, and it's just incredible.
In all its majesty.
In all its majesty. That's what I didn't want to. I wanted you to say it first. I didn't want to text it, but I was thinking it when I was taking the pictures. I was like, I got to see if Cousin Ed's going to say it, or if one of them is going to say it.
Yeah, I had to, man. I was actually looking for the video of when we went there because, and I was going to clip it, but I couldn't find it. I don't even know where I saved it. I have it somewhere, but it's just so funny. That's an inside family joke
of us.
No,
now.
No, we will not release those. What did we do? We took a baseball card and touched the ground in every state or something stupid.
I think you had a pack of Twizzlers or something. And you got a Todd Helton baseball card, and you're like, this baseball card's coming with us for whatever reason.
Todd Helton.
Yeah.
Random.
Unreal.
That's funny.
But, yeah, I've been to Niagara Falls, I feel like, a bunch of times. Whenever we go up to Canada, we make a pit stop there. You know, it's just when we went to the Hall of Fame, we stopped there 2 years ago or last year, whenever that was at this point.
I came across photos from 2011. Which is at this point 14 years ago. Isn't that crazy? Of us at the Hockey Hall of Fame. I came across it the other day and I was like, we all look so different. It's three different people. Three completely different people.
That's the trip we're talking about, right?
No, he's talking about the Marco trip.
That's the Marco trip. That's the Marco trip.
So we've been there 3 times together.
Yeah, we went there for Hank. We went there with Marco.
You said we're doing it in every decade.
Yeah, we did it once a decade. Exactly. We did it in the aughts. We did it in the 10s and now in the 20s too.
Yeah.
Once a decade we get out there. Pretty funny stuff. But, all right. I mean, We got a lot
that
to
trip
cover,
never
so
that trip never gets old for me. I love that Niagara Falls, Canada trip, Toronto.
it's so
Well,
nice, man.
the Hockey Hall of Fame does a great job of keeping it like fresh. Like there's always like a new attraction or something, or a new like game you could play. You know, so I mean, keeping it to every decade, I think, is a good goal. You know, to keep the tradition going for sure. Hopefully, we'll have a reason to go every time.
Yeah, definitely. And um,
When Quickie goes in.
it's definitely interesting. The first time I went, I was begging my dad for souvenirs. The second time I went, I was begging my uncle for souvenirs. And the third time I went, I bought all the souvenirs before you guys arrived. So it's gonna get worse. Anyway. So good
Well,
times.
by next trip, you'll be buying all the souvenirs for little Patrick.
Yeah, I will. But yeah, it's nice that you're up there this time of year too. So
It's
it's probably beautiful
The
weather.
weather this morning was unbelievable, and even last night when I caught the sunset, crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. I'm jealous of that. That's fun. But let's jump right into this stuff. I mean, there's a lot going on. Obviously, the Rangers hired Mike Sullivan. We did the interview with Coach Ed with Chris Drury last week. We were hoping that he would get the call. No, yeah, cousin Drury.
Don't get us in trouble.
We were hoping Coach Ed would get the call, but unfortunately, the Rangers went a different direction. They went with Mike Sullivan. So, I mean, I feel like this is a good.
If you haven't checked it out on YouTube, you have to go check it out. I mean, it's posted twice technically, I guess, on the Coach Ed on the Coach's Corner playlist, and also it was like our regular episode last week. So, if you want to just watch the interview and skip some of the BS with me and PJ in the beginning, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, you got to check it out on YouTube. It's worth it.
Totally fun. It was fun. It was totally fun. But all right, so I guess we'll make this our Coach's Corner, even though it's a special episode. We'll throw this to the Coach's Corner since we're talking about the Rangers coach. So let's hit it. Let's hit it with the Bella commercial now.
Hey everybody, Coach Ed here. I'm over here in the shop at Bella Italia, Marble Granite and Quartz, picking up my order for a nice little bathroom I'm doing. I've been a contractor almost as long as I'm a hockey coach. So listen to me when I tell you, when you want the quality work and craftsmanship, I'm going to see the boys over at Bella. They serve all 5 boroughs, Westchester, Long Island, all the way out to Montauk. Whether you're a Ranger fan, Islander fan, Devils fan, they're going to take care of you no matter what. Make sure you give them a call, 516-561-1018. Let's go Rangers.
All right, boys, bring it in.
All right, so
why are we doing Coach's Corner now? That's not the order we're going in.
We're talking about Sully. You're the Coach's Corner.
Following the ticker here.
You're not following the ticker. I'm mentally not prepared.
It's all right. The Coach's Corner is Sully. There is no other Coach's Corner. So we might as well just do it now. So Sully, obviously, I read it. Obviously, the richest contract or something they said in for coaches in history. I don't think they released the full terms yet. PJ can correct me on that, or Chris in the chat.
They ever do?
No, they never officially release it, but the rumor has it's 5 years, 7 or so million per year, which total money isn't the richest contract, but annual average value it will be. That was according to like Elliot Friedman.
How's that?
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
Because Scotty Bowman made like 16 million or something.
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, the
career.
largest contract was Mike Babcock when he signed with Toronto.
That's
who it was.
It was like 8 years or something for like 6.25 million or something.
Okay, so there you go. There you go. So Sullivan, 5 years. Hopefully he makes the whole 5 years. I think they may have found the coach. Coach, let's get your reaction on Sullivan and how he can impact the roster.
Well, first of all, it's just like anything else with the Rangers. They had him, they let him go, and at the end of his career, they get him back.
100%. Ridiculous.
So
And he went and won 2 cups, became elite elsewhere.
right.
Now he's on the
So,
back 9. Yeah.
We'll get Brett Howden back. We'll get
see,
all
the
these
thing
guys
is,
back.
the thing is, like, not going to learn anything here. So let them go learn it somewhere else, and then when they do, like
and
JT
win.
Miller, yeah,
and win elsewhere. Exactly.
right.
But I mean, obviously he's been one of the most sought after coaches for the Rangers in the last few years. Every time the opening came up, that was the rumor. I was a little shocked it happened, but like we said last week, I think he's going to have that experience of dealing with the higher end creative players and dealing with the ice time and managing it. And I think he's a strong personality. I think he'll do all right.
I think the biggest thing that we always talk about is setting the culture. And I was listening on the radio. They were talking about I think it was Vancouver. They were like, what's the next step for Vancouver now that Tocchet's out? So, like, it's just like the first step is hiring the coach to set the culture. I mean, that's all we've been talking about lately. And, like, obviously he demands excellence. Like Ricky Bobby, he wakes up in the morning, so like he's been around excellence for a long time. And, like, I'm sure he learned a lot from Sidney Crosby, and I'm sure Sidney Crosby learned a lot from him, So.
I mean, put it this way: for Malkin not to leave the last couple of contracts, we probably could have made a lot more money, I think. And for him to stay and want to be there, it has to be a pretty nice culture to work in over there. So.
Well, I guess the question is going to be how much of that is Sidney Crosby and how much of that was Mike Sullivan. But look, all the players, former
Tom
players,
Brady and Belichick, right?
all the former players that played for Sullivan speak so highly of him. So I think that I don't think it was like he was created by Crosby.
Well, even Boyle said it. Brian Boyle said it on up in the Blue Seats. Yeah,
exactly. So we'll see what happens. I think. My opinion is, I was hoping they would go with a younger coach, a guy like Jay Leach or Halpern. But once Sullivan got let go, I mean, he's one of the best coaches in the league. I mean, this is a guy like akin to John Cooper. A lot of people put Cooper above Sullivan, but he is revered in that way. And yeah, Pittsburgh has struggled the last few years, but they also have had no assets. They've had no young guys of note come through their system. They've had an aging core.
They overachieved in those years.
Right. Anyway. I mean, there's maybe. It depends how you look at
Crosby, of course, and Malkin and the core that they had. But, I mean, every year we do our playoff predictions. The Penguins aren't even – we always say they're not even going to come close, and they're always right there. I mean, any analyst, not just us, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, I mean, he's one of those guys, when he's available, you get him. And we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously the Rangers aren't going to rebuild. I know a lot of fans out there want them to. It's not going to happen. It's just not. They're trying to win now. They just traded for JT Miller. They just locked up Shesterkin for 8 years. They're not rebuilding. It's not happening. If anything, it'll retool. So, they're going to try and win a Stanley Cup, and they got one of the best coaches in the league. I can't really complain. For once, coach, I can't really complain about a coaching hire. I mean, well, no matter what happens, put it on.
I'll give you till opening night.
Well, you got to try. I mean, that's the thing. Like with a guy like Sullivan, I'm not saying it's going to be a slam dunk. It could go wrong, like anything else. But without Monday morning quarterbacking it, just right now, it's the obvious decision. And you got to look at it too, like this. Little Ed, like Drury's hired 3 coaches? I think he hired 3 coaches. This is his 4th coach.
I think he inherited the first year, right?
Oh, he inherited Quinn? I don't remember.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember if he inherited Quinn.
No, who was before Quinn?
No, Quinn.
He fired
Lance.
Drury got hired in 2021 after the COVID season. That's when, remember, Davidson and Gordon got fired. He fired Quinn at the end of that season.
Okay.
So he's really only
third
hired
coaching hire.
30 he's actually hired, correct?
Yeah, so this is his 3rd coaching hire. Like, how many coaching hires is the owner going to give a GM? And his extension, it was reported, was only 2 years. So he's going to make the safe decision. And frankly, I don't blame him when it's Mike Sullivan. So you got to look at it like that too.
I don't think this group would respond to a young coach.
Will they respond to any coach? I guess we'll find out.
Well, there's a less of a chance of a younger coach or like an inexperienced coach, I should say, like one that doesn't come with like already the experience on how to handle guys this age and this level of money and the media and everything. I mean, he's like Team USA's head coach. You know, he had to deal with a lot of media during Four Nations. I mean, Pittsburgh is no slouch. It's not New York, but I'm sure the media is buzzing there. You know, so that type of thing is important as well.
I'm going to say the only difficult thing he might have is coaching without Sidney Crosby. I don't think he ever coached without Sidney Crosby. That's a big thing. Not that he was not that he carried the team. I'm talking about the off-ice leadership of what needs to be done to win and compete. You know, do they have a guy like that? I don't know. So he's going to have to deal with not having that and not expecting them to be like that, which is tough.
Yeah,
I don't know if you follow what I'm saying.
Yeah, he had the support of a player like Crosby, who he knew would set an example for all the players off the ice, and he doesn't really have that with the Rangers. That's a good point. But he's going to look.
He's got to deal with not having it. Can he do that? And how's he going to manage it?
Well, it also brings. Okay.
No.
Well, I was going to say it's important that he kind of like is hired now because now they have the whole summer, him and Drury, and for him to be like, this is the type of player we need.
Yeah, true. For the draft and everything.
Because obviously he has experience around the league too, so he could say like, listen, go get this guy in X team. Like, this is the guy. Or even like, go get this guy from Pittsburgh. I know Dubas is trying to get rid of him. Like, anything.
Yeah,
Like, it's just. I'm sure I don't know about this, not this episode, but an episode this summer, we're going to try and pick our assistant captains and our captains. I'm sure they're doing the same thing. I hope so. If I'm a coach, or I'm sure Coach Ed can agree, like, we're not going into a team and inheriting the entire leadership group. If they might say, like, listen, the captain isn't negotiable, but like, we're naming at least our own assistants, in my opinion. I mean, obviously the NHL works a little differently, I would say, but like, there's no way Drury's happy with the leadership group, I would say.
The players pick it too in the NHL, right? I mean, that's part of it.
I don't know.
I don't know how it works.
Good question.
I think that's how it works.
Each team is different. I'm sure each coaching staff is different, management, everything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if the Maple Leafs are choosing their own assistants and stuff. You know, like, depends on the organization.
True. Yeah, I mean, look, we'll see how it plays out. I remember vaguely the captains last time when they picked Trouba, it was like voted on by the players or something. There was some report of that. I don't know if that actually happened. Maybe I'm making it up.
It's one of those things where like the players vote, but the coaches choose.
Maybe you're making it up.
Yeah, like maybe my brain just remembers it. It didn't actually. It just means maybe my brain is remembering it, but it's not true. I feel like I did. It's one of those things that's in my head that it happened, but you guys are making me question that because you don't recall it. So
maybe I made Boyle on, or
maybe it's not real. Maybe I dreamt it or something. I don't know. But anyway, so what kind of system are we looking at with Sullivan coming in? You know, a lot of people complained about Laviolette and his man-to-man defense. You know, the hybrid he played or straight man-to-man was difficult for the personnel the Rangers had, especially on D.
Well, PJ sent me an article about his style in Pittsburgh and what to expect. And the article basically said it's no secret. He didn't invent any system. He doesn't. It's something, ironically, that I try to get our kids to do, but everybody's generally passive and they don't want to commit on a forecheck. So he wants to do an aggressive 1-2-2. So the F1 goes in, challenges the puck down low, and the other two forwards skate hard into the zone and anticipate the defenseman's options and attack those options when they make the play. And that could be a defenseman on the weak side doing it, but there's always options where they want that puck attacked at the first pass, second pass. So then they feel they can get it, throw it back in, and stay on the offense. He didn't talk too much about the defensive structure that I saw.
Yeah, so I read that he runs pretty much a zone D, which I think will help the personnel. You know, assuming no changes. I keep saying assuming no changes because it's really difficult number one, it's difficult to imagine the team is exactly the same. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's also difficult to project which players aren't going to be here. Actually, we can make our picks like we will later in the episode, but assuming Keandre and Susi and Borgen and Vakanainen and these guys are on D, I think it'll help those players because the zone D is more about positioning versus I guess I don't want to say talent, but when you play man to man, you have to have really good awareness. It's an innate attribute you need, and you need speed. So,
yeah, but his zone coverage on D is similar to the forecheck. It's a zone coverage, but when that puck isn't even 50-50, when that guy's got the puck vulnerable, they're going to attack him and then anticipate the two options that player has. So it's a very similar. Let's say it's a forecheck in the defensive zone. So they're playing the same attack mentality, but it starts in the zone, then they jump the puck.
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me.
We'll see. But you have, like you said, you have to have the personnel. You have to have that mindset. You can't. Not every player gets it because they can't anticipate it. Some people don't have that mental capacity.
I mean, look, it sounds good, but I feel like every coach the Rangers hire has the same sound bites. I play in a system. I like to attack the puck. It's a puck possession. It's a hard forecheck. I play hard. I mean, it's the same crap.
All similar.
And it never,
hockey's
and it never happens.
Game.
It never happens. So
it's overcomplicated. That's when you look silly.
Yeah, it is pretty simple, right? I mean, get it deep, get a change, create some chaos when you can.
Obviously, the game's evolved. Yeah, the game has evolved tremendously. But the basics: getting the puck deep, wearing down defensemen, getting pucks on net, throwing pucks on net, creating traffic. It's all the same basic.
I love that clip of who's the Panthers coach?
Paul Maurice.
When they're playing the Bruins, it was last year sometime, and they're winning 3-1, and he calls a timeout, and he's screaming at them.
That's a great clip.
You want to make an effing play with a 3-1 lead? Wear these mother effers down so they can't skate in Game 6.
It's perfect.
He's screaming at them. It's like so basic.
Yeah.
Like I do the same thing, but it's still at that level.
Yeah, there's still kids that just want to make a play, and the
right.
He's
like, would you stop?
What are you doing? Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy, man. It's just no matter how old you get, for sure.
It's that when you have that ability to make those plays, it's tough to get it out of your system. I understand, but
like when you're playing a weaker team, which we talk about all the time, like when the Rangers get smoked by Buffalo, it's like watching Kreider think he's playing against a rec league team. It's just annoying. It's
geez,
not scoring the empty net because he feels.
We have to talk about this.
The good news is every time they get their first
in a few minutes. Jesus.
Every first year coach for the Rangers in the last few years is successful. So hopefully we could do something in his first year.
That's true. The first year is usually good. So that's true. So last thing on Sullivan. PJ popped in. What's up, bud?
No, you can continue your last thing. I just had a couple points before you wrapped up. I wanted to ask you guys questions on. So finish your last.
No, go for it. No, go for it.
Well, he's going to close with that, so we have to do this first.
Understandable. So I wanted to ask you guys two things. One, the only real pushback I've seen. I mean, it seems like a pretty well received, depending on who was out there. I don't think it was a no-brainer hire, but it seems like the only pushback I've seen is he another retread? I don't believe that at all. I don't think he compares the other guys, but I'm curious to hear your opinions on that. Second, I wanted to see if you think Drury is finally going to have Sullivan give more input than the other coaches had for player personnel changes.
I'll take that first. One, no, he's not just another retread. He's been with the same organization for a decade. And that's a little different than some of these other coaches that have bounced around 2 or 3 year stints with other teams. He's a guy who's been so well respected that he's stayed in one place for a decade. So it's much different. I think he and Dubas just had a disagreement about where Pittsburgh should go, and they went different directions. So that's the only reason he's not coaching there anymore. And then as far as the input, Coach, I mean, I would think so. The point I was going to make before PJ popped in is Drury was a GM or a manager of Team USA. Sullivan was a coach of Team USA at Four Nations. They're both involved with the Olympics. The Rangers have JT Miller, Trocheck, Kreider, Fox, all these Perot now, all these USA guys. I think that they have the same mentality. You can disagree with their mentality and say they shouldn't have it or whatever. That's a different combo. But I think they kind of have that same mentality, so it should be a seamless approach to the offseason between the coach and GM, right?
You're asking me?
Yeah, I think that it would be. I mean, you would agree, right?
That was a long question. But
I'm a lawyer. We ask long questions. We got to confuse the witness, you know?
Can you repeat that question?
Can you read it back, court reporter?
I don't need you to read it back. The thing I was thinking about, give me
Little Ed. Here, let me ask Little Ed.
The thing I'm interested to see, I got it. The thing I'm interested to see is Rory was the GM in USA and he was the coach, and they sat Fox.
No, they demoted Fox. Yeah, they didn't sit him.
Well, that's sitting him from used to playing 20 to 25 minutes a game to playing less than 7 minutes a game, 8 minutes a game. That's
they also scratched Kyle Connor for Chris Kreider.
All right, I'm interested to see.
I don't understand that.
If they agree on these things, you know, that is showing the cohesiveness. You never heard any bad rumblings about it, other than from Ranger fans that Fox wasn't playing.
Well, if the Rangers had Werenski and Faber and all those guys, I'm sure
it's still something not to have him out there often.
No, your point's taken.
Past Norris Trophy winner, one of the top guys in the league. It's not Cale Makar sitting, but it's significant to me that they had to do it and they agreed on it.
Yeah. Little Ed, what are your thoughts?
On what? Like Fox getting set?
No.
Which part?
It was like 10 minutes. I felt like Rodney Dangerfield. It's in 16 parts.
Sullivan and Drury being on the same page with the roster building and deployment of players.
I think it's very important. Unlike,
do you think they will be?
Unlike how you and Coach Ed were in your interview, or would be if you ran a team together. Shout out to the YouTube video again. I think they will be on the same page. I think like I said, it's no secret of like the playing style of hockey that is required to win the Stanley Cup or be successful in the playoffs. I mean, we're watching it night after night on TV, and you're watching these games, and I can't picture many of the Rangers players, even at their best, keeping up with some of these guys. You know, and like I said, like we always talk about, is like a player like Panarin really sticks out in my mind. Is like, does he really have that? Not even next gear, maybe 2 more gears in him that's going to be able to keep up with a player like Rantanen or McDavid or Draisaitl or any of these guys that are just like running around the ice scoring goals at will.
Sullivan's going to go, my feet are tied to the pedals on this. Do you know what it takes?
Yeah. So, like I said, that's important, is for him to, like, he knows what it takes. He's been there. He also hasn't been there in the last couple of years, so he knows what he was missing. Not the last couple of years, a long time. When was the last time the Penguins won or were in the Cup final? It's been a while.
18, right?
Yeah, so it's been a pretty long time. And so, like I said, he knows what he had on his roster when he won, and he knows what he had on his roster when he couldn't get it done. And I think that's the information he's got to give to Drury as soon as possible.
Yeah, I said when I tweeted it at my own personal account that when they hired him, one of the big things was he is dying to win. I think that's pretty much one of the reasons he wanted to get out of Pitt, because they're going to start really rebuilding if they haven't started already. And 2, the Rangers are obviously eager to get back to winning. So, but Little Ed spoke on Panarin. I know we talked about it briefly in our chat, but Paul brought it up and wanted us to quickly ask about Panarin. There was a report yesterday. There's some whispers that he might be being shopped, which I'd be curious to hear everyone's opinion on. Obviously, he has a say in where he goes if he goes.
Well, isn't that going to be in the stay and go segment?
Yeah, I was going to say we should pocket that. It's a good question, Paul. But at the end, in the stay or go segment, we're going to talk about Panarin.
Well, to answer his question, we are going to talk about it. That was his question.
Yeah, true.
Yes, that is true.
Not right
Good
now,
job.
but we are going to talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, Paul. We'll get back to that. Good question. So Joe Micheletti announced he's retiring. We didn't get a chance to talk about that. That happened this week as well. And I mean, dude, you guys met Micheletti. I was in the bathroom at the time you met him in Penn Station, so I missed that. But yeah, he's a well-respected guy. Well-respected guy. And it's a classy move.
Classiest.
Not announcing it at all. Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh. I'm a good podcast host. It's a classy move not announcing it while Sam is going through his tour every night. All the arenas getting gifts, and Joe just quietly says nothing and then retires. I mean, he had to have known that he was going to do that. You don't just make that decision on a whim. So shout out to him for that. That's classy.
What if he did? What if he just woke up one day and was like, you know what, like everyone's giving him all this credit. What if he just woke up the other day and was like, you know what, like, I can't do without Sam?
What if Dolan forced him out because he criticized the team too much during the game?
Oh my God!
Criticized the team too much. And how does Maloney have a career still? He would have been off the radio years ago.
See how long that lasts.
Yeah.
Joe was hard on them this year, and rightfully so. But maybe that took a toll on him too. Who knows?
I mean, it's like the biggest flop in the history of the Rangers Ed podcast, me flopping on Joe and Sam. Not to get emotional, but after meeting them and talking a couple of times, it's, they're good guys. It was cool. Big classy move by Joe.
It was.
Power play goal.
The only thing he ever did was raise a hot daughter.
All right. I mean, it's just incredible that we're losing the entire broadcast team. It was announced Kenny Albert is going to take over for Sam, which I think is a good pick. And there's a lot of options as the color guys. So we'll see what happens there. And, just want to thank Joe for, being great to us and, doing a great job over the years, giving us a lot of laughs. Right there.
We have to redesign the entire game now. I thought we were at least going to have Joe's stuff still.
Yeah.
Now we have
Crazy.
to redesign the entire game.
Yeah, but like you said, it's a memento, It's something like just looking at it. I was looking at it the other day. I found that card, by the way, because I cleaned under my couch. And it was there. So I found it, but I was going through the deck and I was just laughing. It's sad, but congrats to Joe. Great career. And who knows if he's actually done with hockey. Maybe he gets involved in a team in some capacity like JD did. Who knows what he'll do. But
we talk a lot about my Sam Rosen plaque that he signed for me, but Joe did the same thing. And he was from what Coach Ed said, very appreciative that I went out of my way to make one from Minnesota, and I knew like his number that he played in college and stuff like that. So that, and he thought I was a 10-year-old kid.
Like Bobby Boucher.
How old is he? 35? What?
I am 36 years old. Oh, so good. So good.
A lot of movie cuts this episode.
Sam Rosen plaque for the grand prize of the bracket. We got the bracket updates at the end of the episode, so we'll save that one too.
Now you got to make a double plaque.
Both, retired, 40 years. Oh, well, Sam or Joe was what, 15, I think, or
I think
like
19. They were together.
19, almost 20.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah. So, all right, I think it's time to just do the awards. Before this becomes a 6-hour episode.
Let's see if opening night they come out with a Micheletti jersey on for warm up.
Love that. All right, so our 24-25 regular season awards, we're going to go backwards. Coach hates when I do this because I go in the opposite order of the outline. But we're not going to start with the, important awards. We're going to start at the end. So we're going to start with the Breakout Player of the Year award, the Peter Pruko Award, which we award to the player who broke out to reach close to their potential or who took a major step in their development. That's the award. Previous winners for this, Little Ed, you had Alexi Lafreniere last year. This is only the second year we've given this award. So who you got for 24-25, your breakout player of the year?
I mean, I think the option is pretty obvious. You got to go with Will Cooley. I mean, he was the most promising player of the season for many reasons. And, he looks like he's got a bright future.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be Will Cooley, right? He went from 13 goals to 20. That
it's not.
There's no
it's
other
not
option.
not necessarily the production for me. I mean, it's like the same thing that I was just saying before. Is like he plays the game the right way, and like his style of play directly translates into playoff hockey. And like, I mean, I'm thinking I haven't thought about it until now, but that's pretty disappointing that we didn't get to see him like right now at like kind of like his peak confidence, everything like playing in the playoffs. I think he would have been great.
Yep.
There's always next year.
I went with Cooley too for those reasons. PJ.
Yep, me three. I mean, how could you not? I mean, he was very, very exciting, and can't wait to see where he goes. I thought he really thrived all season, which is impressive despite everyone else taking downturns. I mean, you saw Lafreniere go down with the ship. It's good on Cooley for not.
Yeah, Coach.
Yeah, same thing. Can't really argue with that one.
I think Will Cooley might get a lot of hardware today at the Rangers
Awards. I was thinking
for sure. I wanted to, real quick before we jump into the next award. Before we jump into the awards, I wanted to backtrack on a couple predictions that you guys made. I made a couple quick videos if you wanted before the season to see how positive you were before we go to the awards.
Oh, geez.
All right, here's the first one.
Mine. I was going to say Laffy 75 points. I mean, this is kind of the same argument that we just made, but I'm going to go with Panarin gets the 50. He got a taste of it last year. He hit the 49. He wants that 50. He wants to join the 50 goal club with the Rangers, and I think he's going to get it.
Ooh, you were 0 for 2. Let's keep going.
All right, we got another one.
Oh no, I'm calling it. I'm calling it now. 40 plus for Mika.
That's not a bold prediction either. He's a 40-goal scorer. There's a very good chance he's going to get 40.
No, it's very bold. Very few players in Rangers history have scored 40 goals. I think the list is probably like 15 players in the
How
entire
many
history.
years has he done it? Once or twice?
He did it once.
Once? All right.
And last year he had like 23 goals or 24 goals, right? He had a down year, and he's back and he's in the 40 range. That's a bold prediction, Coach. You're not gonna get me on that one.
Okay.
And I bet you
Right,
it was clearly bold. It's clearly a bold prediction.
Wait, did he even break the 25 goals?
He got 20 goals.
Save that one because in about 2 months when we do our season predictions, you're gonna say, well, he had 2 down years. He can't have 3 in a row. So we're
gonna call it the cousin Ed Hex at this point, though.
Oh my God!
I'm not making any bold predictions next year. I'm skipping that segment. So I'm done. We think I can't.
I think at this point, a bold prediction is like them snapping out of this. So like that's just a blanket. Whatever.
Guys, if you want listeners, if you want Mika to waive his no move clause, call Oscar and have him send me a Zibanejad jersey. And he will waive his no move clause
in every version. Stadium Series, home, away, Liberty.
Yeah. Exactly.
Third,
all right.
Reverse retro.
Jeez, PJ, you could have picked a little bit better of a clip than that. My God.
Honestly, there was so much positivity, and rightfully so. But
Paul says maybe predict Kreider gets more than 5 assists. Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Oh,
All right.
That's like,
All right. Our next award, the Matt Zuccarello Teammate of the Year Award, who we give to the
Ooh.
player who keeps the room light and the energy positive in the locker room. Coach, going to you first with this. We've done this. This is the 5th year we've given this award. So going back to the 2021 season, 2020-2021 season, Brendan Smith was coach's pick that year. That was a rough year. Then the following 3 seasons, each year you took Barclay Goodrow. Who you got this year, 24-25, as your teammate of the year?
Do we have to do the 2-year thing? And why does it have to be like that? Just say 25. We know it's the end of the season. That should be the year.
Well, the season is encompassed.
I
within 2
understand
calendar
what
years.
happens, that it's in 2.
That's how it works.
I know. Why do we have to just say in the 25 season? That means that's when it ended.
oh man.
Anyway,
I didn't make this up. This is how the NHL does it. Like they call it that. I'm just referring to it how they call it.
I'm not saying you
you
do.
gotta
I'm
bring
not
back
blaming you. I'm saying it's stupid.
Grind my
You got to
gears.
bring back the grind my gears.
Anyway,
Just
I'm
get the
going
Family
with
Guy
Trocchi.
clip.
I'm going with Trocchi. All the stories you hear
Trocheck.
about him off the ice, on the ice, playing with injuries, taking care of some younger guys and stuff. I think he's. I'm going with Trocchi.
All right. I get it's a tough year for this one. 2020, 2021, I took Pavel Buchnevich. 21-22, I took Reeves. Fine, coach. I'll just do the ending year, okay? 23, I took Ryan Lindgren. And then last year in 24, I took Chris Kreider. This year I took Quick. I struggled with this one. I think the locker room was a disaster, but while all this was going on and all these trades were being made, I think Quick was pretty stable and signed an extension. There was a lot of people talking about the Rangers not attracting players and doing all this, and then Quick signed. I think that kind of was a good move for the organization, a stabilizing move. And I don't know. That's the best I got for teammates. It's tough. Pick. Little Ed, what do you got?
I was going to go with Quick.
Oh, you're going with Quick too. I want to tell you who you picked.
Quick as well, but you can say who I picked last year.
Pavel Buchnevich, Ryan Reeves, Yarrow Halak, and Chris Kreider were your 4 picks.
Wow, Halak. Yeah, he was
two
good,
backups.
You picked Buchnevich?
Yeah, I don't remember that. You might be filling that in, man. But no.
By the way,
you totally picked Buchnevich.
No, by the way,
guys,
did you see the game where they lost St. Louis?
Yes, I was gonna text this, and I was like, I'm glad you brought this up because I was gonna be like, no, I'm gonna save it to the episode.
And how many of those 2 goals was Buchnevich on the ice for?
He went for the empty net instead of just shipping it.
Oh yeah, he got ripped for that. Yeah, no, that wasn't a smart play. That wasn't a smart play, but in fairness, the analytics do say shoot for the empty net no matter where you are. So he maybe the coaching staff is teaching him that, that might have not been his decision.
I can't agree with the analytics there at all. But
but you don't know what the coaches are telling him. They might say if you get it and you get space, just shoot it. Because that is what the analytics say on that. But
I don't know about you guys,
the
but
case is
not in the playoffs.
In one of the biggest comebacks in playoff history, he was on the ice for 2 of those goals.
I was just saying, I don't know about you guys, but if that was the Rangers losing like that with those 2 goals and then losing in overtime or double overtime, whatever it was, I don't know if I would have been waking up the next morning. I don't think. How do you recover from that?
PJ, you wouldn't wake up the next morning if Carolina wins a game like that against like Philadelphia. You'd be upset.
I do hate them. I hate our rivals, but no, I'm not like that. I don't like. Doesn't affect me emotionally if those teams win or lose, but the Rangers losing like that,
that'd be
tough,
soul
tough
crushing.
Even
soul crushing.
Even the Avalanche lost. That would have been really bad too. Up 2-0, middle of the third, in a game
with Mikko Rantanen with a hat trick in 10 minutes. Oof.
That's something that would happen to the Rangers with the ex-players, man. It just feels like that. I'm shocked.
Yeah, but that just shows you it just doesn't happen to the Rangers. Like we always say, things always happen to the Rangers. It happens all the time.
Just
we don't know it until the playoffs because we see it every night.
Just wait for the Dallas Carolina Stanley Cup Finals where Rantanen goes off for like he's stamping. He's getting the Conn Smythe, I think. We'll see. All right, PJ, teammate of the year. Who you got?
I went Rempe. I just figured he's always keeping things light. Seems like he's always smiling. Yeah, keeping the boys light. I mean, you're right. It was very hard board to decide, but I figured he was. But Quick was a good one too. But that's the first guy that came to mind for me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like that. All right, next award, the John Brancy Surprise Player of the Year Award. Player who you did not expect to perform as well as they did in this season. Coach, your picks here in the last 4 years, Matt Rempe, Jimmy Vesey, Chris Kreider, Colin Blackwell. I'm not going to say the years. I'm just going to go backwards in reverse order, okay? So
Rempe, Vesey. Just say 1 year.
Which year? The first year or the second year?
The second year is the year we voted.
Rempe, Vesey, Kreider, Blackwell. So you got this year.
I think I'm going to go with what's his name again? Wait, what's the award
Clip
for?
that. Mark that down.
What's the award for again?
Surprise Player of the Year. Player you did not expect to perform as well as they did.
Oh, Adam Edstrom. That's what I was thinking of. Even though he got hurt, he ended up having a pretty solid spot for 40 games or so, 35 games.
Yeah, no scratches, wasn't demoted. Good pick.
I thought he was playing real well. I mean, I thought he was good last year, but he got the chance and he stayed with it. I thought he was playing real well. So
he was on his way to 20-point season as a fourth liner. Pretty good pick. Yeah. All right, PJ, we'll go to you second on this. Who you got?
I went Sam Carrick. I think when he signed, I was like, maybe he plays in half the games. I don't really care. It was just like, is what it is. But, what do you have? 20 points in that career high. He scored a lot of big goals, it felt like, and was consistent all year and fast. Yeah, surprised me. I didn't think he was going to be really much at all.
I like that pick.
That's a great pick.
My pick as well.
That was your pick as well?
Yes, sir.
Well, Little Ed, you your last 4 picks in 24, you took Quick. In 23, you took VC. In 22, you took Kreider. And in 21, you took Capo. So this year, Carrick for you. Good. So my last 4 were Rempe, Hedel, Keandre, and Colin Blackwell. I'm going to go with Vakanainen. For me, he was thrown into the Trouba trade. This failed first-round pick for Boston, dumped on a crappy team out west that I don't watch often. He's the 7th D. He's not playing a lot. He's kind of just thrown into this trade with Trouba. Wasn't really expecting anything. And I was pretty impressed by him, to be honest with you. I think he's a solid pairing guy, and he got extended because he played, pretty stable games. So I thought he was a surprise to me. I don't know. But Carrick for sure is probably the pick. That's. I
was going to say pick. Will Borgen, so I like the Vakanainen pick.
Yeah, Borgen's another one that I considered as well.
I think those 2 guys are gonna do well in Sullivan's system. They're smart players.
Yeah, we'll see.
Play well.
It's all about the fundamentals.
We'll see. All right. So let's look at the next award, the Dan Girardi Defensive Defenseman of the Year Award, only given to the defenseman who exhibited the best defensive play last season. This year is the second year we've done this. Last year, Coach and Little Ed took Ryan Lindgren, and I took Jacob Trouba. Both those guys aren't on the team, and most fans think they suck. So let's see this year where we go. Little Ed, this is your brainchild. So start us off here. Who'd you take?
If he takes Keandre, I'll die.
No chance. No chance.
Absolutely 0 chance, and that'll never happen. You can mark my words and clip this now. No, this is good timing because I'm just going to double down with everything you just said, but my pick is Borgen for similar reasons. I mean, he was the trade for Kakko. He's coming over to New York. Media circus, a lot of pressure, being the trade for the 2nd overall pick, blah, blah, blah. And he came in and kind of, like you said about Vakanainen, like just played stable. enough to get an extension. And I mean, I know I talk a lot of crap on Keandre, but like it kind of gave him a little bit of a balance where not balance, a little bit of comfort level, it seemed, where he did have some stretches where he played some pretty good hockey. And I think as a defenseman, I credit a lot of my success with the partners that I had in college, and I hope they do the same thing or say the same thing about me. I mean, playing the position has a lot to do with your partner. So, like I said, I think if he acts as that, like he's never going to be the superstar, but he might be that like solid partner moving forward for the Rangers.
Okay, solid pick. Coach?
I went with Borgen also. The aforementioned Will Borgen. The reason why Keandre thrives with him is I feel that he makes the plays that you're supposed to make. So as a partner, if you see him going to make a play, you know he's going to do it. Whereas if Keandre goes this way, everybody's like, is he going to go that way or that way? But Borgen makes the logical play and he finishes the play, and that's easy. Yeah. That's an easier partner to have.
Yeah, you can rely on your instincts more because he makes a safe play.
You know that he'll be behind the net. You know that he'll be,
And that's important for a player like Keandre because, like Coach Ed said, like it gives him more freedom to maybe, I don't know, be a little bit more offensive, which, whatever.
But he's a good player, Borgen. That's my pick. Go ahead. Who's up?
All right, PJ, who you taking?
Yeah, I'm wrapping it in Borgen too. I mean, I didn't admittedly. I mean, I knew about him, but I can't say I watched a ton of him before he came here, and he could skate really well for his size. I thought like he defends the rush really well for a team that doesn't. And yeah, like everything you guys said, I think I'm excited to see him, under a better D system with the whole team too. I think he's going to do even better.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can move on to the next award. The Steve Vickers Rookie of the Year Award. The rookie who most impacted the Rangers roster. Steve Vickers, obviously, was a Rookie of the Year for the Rangers, so he gets the name here. All right, previous winners. I'll go first for this one. Last year, Will Cooley. Year before that, we didn't award it. There were no eligible rookies. Braden Schneider in 22 and Keandre Miller in 21. I'm going with Brett Berard. I liked what I saw in Berard's game this year.
You love Brett Berard.
I love this kid. He's small. He definitely gets banged around. He needs to get a little stronger. There's no question about that. But he's got a nose for the puck. He digs in the corners. He goes to the net. He tighten up his defensive zone awareness. He'd be a great PKer, and he's got speed. He can create chances on the PK. I just love this kid. I think he could be a middle sixer. And in a fourth line role, even though he's small, I think he can play that too. So he's got a lot of flexibility.
All you're doing right now is you're creating another jinx.
No, I love this kid. I don't think I could jinx him.
I know you love him, but I don't think he's going to be on the team next year.
He's a puck hound.
I was just about to.
Where is he going to be? And you want Perot, and you want this guy, and you want Othman. Where is he going to be?
Well, he can go to Hartford again. It's not. I'm not saying he has to be on the team, but I think this year he played over 30 games, and I just love the kid. I think he's got a bright future. He's a puck hound.
I was going to say, I think he's the type of player that's going to do really well with Sully because if you look at the Pittsburgh team, guys like Sherry, Rust, like these small, quick jitterbug forwards that are good on the forecheck because that's what his system is. It's really heavy on the forecheck. I think he can actually thrive real well.
Yeah, Sullivan's going to love that kid. There's no question in my mind about that.
That's a good point.
Who'd you take, PJ?
I went Edstrom. I thought he was really solid all year, and I thought he was really humming before he got hurt. And I love that fourth line with him, Carrick, and Rempe, and excited to see it again next year. He's got like some sneaky good hands too. In addition, he's fast as hell.
Yeah. You forget Edstrom was a rookie because he played the year before, but he was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he was for sure.
He only played a couple of games though that year.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they played Rempe over him, and we were arguing about that, I remember. So, yeah, you forget that. He was actually a rookie last year. Little Ed.
I'm going to go with Berard. I mean, I like his style of play too, but he obviously has to put on some muscle and work out this summer. if he wants a chance. And I agree with PJ too with the system and those style of players. I mean, even Hagelin was on the Penguins for a little while. I like to think he was a little bit better in terms of hockey IQ than Hagelin. Hagelin was a little bit more all over the place, kind of similar to what Coach Ed was saying. You never know where those types of players are going to go. I think Berard has a little bit more of a target and like hockey IQ, like still staying in position. But the only thing I don't agree with Cousin is with I don't think he should be on the fourth line or really on the third line. I think if he's going to make the team, he should be on the second line, but that requires him coming into training camp with some size. And I have no problem with him starting in Hartford if he doesn't have a spot in the top six, unless Sullivan's going to really roll the three lines consistently. But I mean, that's not what we've really seen with the Rangers.
Yeah, I just don't know what Berard can do about his size. You mean bulk?
Yeah, bulk up. I mean, he can't get knocked.
He can come in on his tippy toes, you know.
No, I mean like thickness, not height.
He comes into camp with the hair. What's the hair? The spiky hair.
Keandre's hair.
Yeah, no, the spiky hair. Yeah, I mean, look, I think this day and age, the second and third line is very similar. It's not like the old school like checking third line, but I think he could play either role. So we'll see. Maybe you're right. Yeah, there is. We'll see if he makes the team. Coach, your previous winners here: Will Cooley, no one; Braden Schneider, and Alexis Lafreniere. So who do you got this season?
I'm going with Berard also, even though I think he's going to not be on the team. I like the way he after you guys said he'll fit into Sullivan's system, I do agree with that because I think he has good instinct. And if you look at the players PJ was talking about on Pittsburgh, Rust and Sherry, those guys are small, but they are thick, like Eddie said. He's got to put on that mass because he'll be able to battle harder the way he does, and it'll pick his game up.
Yeah,
they might like him. They might like him and keep him, but they got to start. Something's got to happen with this talent. We'll see.
I take back the third line comment, but definitely not the fourth line comment because you need that.
Yeah, the third line this day and age is very good. Marchand's on the third line.
Yeah,
similar kind of player.
Like I said, if Sullivan's going to really roll them, then it's fine. But if they're going to go heavy first and second line like they have been over the last couple of years, it's not going to work.
I mean, the third line when they won in Pittsburgh, Sullivan had Hagelin, Phil Kessel, believe it or not, and Nick Bonino.
I remember that line. That line was dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Bonino won like every faceoff that year.
It was a stud.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Before we move on, actually, did you guys notice that I skipped myself on the defensive defenseman of the year? Did anybody catch that?
I honestly thought you went.
Not.
I thought I guess you picked
none of you caught it.
Well, I think you Vakanainen. I think I kind of just rolled in with it and like that was.
Yeah, I thought you Vakanainen was your pick.
No, that was his breakout or surprise.
That was my surprise. Yeah, I'm surprised none of the listeners caught that. You guys, that shows how much my opinion is valued here. Jeez. My pick for that was none, which is why I didn't say anything. I have nobody getting defensive defenseman of the year. Anyway,
how did you pick Vakanainen for the surprise and not just give him that one also?
I was surprised by him, but
not good enough.
The reason why I like Morgan,
overall, the system, everything, it was one of the worst defensive efforts I've ever seen. If I give it to anyone, it's Igor Shesterkin. Like I'm not giving.
You can.
No, I give it to nobody. He had a bad year too in my mind. So. Yeah, I like Borgen. Just not award-worthy performance for me. Anyway, all right. The Marc Messier Leader of the Year award to the player who exhibited the greatest leadership qualities. I'll go first here. Previous years: Jonathan Quick, 24; Trouba, 23; Kreider, 22; Trouba, 21. I also had none for this, so nobody was a good leader this year. Okay, Coach. Last year you had Kreider, Trouba. Those are your 4 picks.
Can I ask a question? Why did we do defensive defenseman and we didn't do offensive defenseman right after it?
Because that's a little bit later, Coach, and we're going in the order that I choose. If you want to choose the order, feel free to tell me beforehand or have any kind of input you want in the order before the show.
So your pick is you're not giving anybody.
I have no leader of the year award this year. No, I
Wow.
don't even know what to do about that. I don't think there was good leadership in this room. I think that's been the conversation we've had all season. They traded the captain. You know, which guy with an A deserves any kind of respect in this room?
Well,
Kreider's pouting all season.
Does it have to be somebody with a letter? Because I'm going to give it
No.
to JT Miller.
Well, that's fine, but I don't know what he really did to earn it. That's just my position.
Well, what he did to earn it, in my opinion, is when they got him, he became a point-a-game player. Mika picked up his game. Panarin turned on some points towards the end of the season. I think the whole team in general watching, they were playing with a little bit more energy and a little bit more feistiness. Even like we kept saying, Mika was hitting. I was like in shock. For him, he was hitting. He wasn't bone crushing, but I thought things were happening a little bit more positive than before they got him.
Like in the Calgary game, after they got JT Miller in that Calgary game, or that West Coast swing where they had like a total of 14 shots on goal in 3 games or whatever.
I just every game he was there. All they said was they did pick it up a notch.
I get it. I'm still bitter about it, so I can't get there. But I'm with you. I get your point.
It's all right.
Little Ed, your previous winners, Barclay Goodrow, waived.
Well, all you're doing by saying I have no, all you're doing by saying is I have no pick. So next year you can't say I wasn't wrong. You got to pick somebody.
I'm not picking anyone. I don't think they deserve it.
Then what's the sense of doing the show?
Why is that happening again? I just got balloons on my screen.
I don't think anyone deserves it, so I'm not awarding.
Go ahead. Who's next?
Barclay Goodrow waived. These are Little Ed's prior picks. Jacob Trouba traded. Chris Kreider pouted the whole season. Brendan Smith no longer on the team. So go ahead. Who's your
gone? Smith was a good pick.
Yeah, Smith was a good pick.
I got to go with what Coach said about JT Miller, but I'm going to give a little bit of a nod to Fox with his comments at the end of the year, taking all the accountability.
So JT Miller or Fox?
But JT Miller for sure, with just turning the team around, setting the tone, leading by example. There's no one else, in my opinion.
Just for what he did in that USA hockey matchup with Canada.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah,
that's
the guy you're going to run through a wall for. Listen, if he can get Zibanejad to throw a hit, you know, you can get anyone to do anything.
Yeah, I bet you before he came on the team, Zibanejad had 0 hits.
Remember that one hit that Mika had where like the camera turned to the corner and was like right in your face, and then it went to the net and they scored? It was like shocking.
Was that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was with JT Miller or before?
Yeah, it was with JT. It was like the Islander.
Yeah, that's game. That's the one I'm thinking of. Exactly the same. Yeah, that created the opportunity in front. It's like, why can't you just do that that's how hockey is played. It's what we were talking about. Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right, PJ, who's your leader of the year?
I was with you when I was thinking about the awards, Cousin Ed. I was like, who the hell deserves one? But I settled on Quick. I just figured, he always good to hear him like doing the team dinners together, and him having Rempe at his house, and he always feels like he's taking accountability. I mean, in his end of the season availability, he's like, I felt like I didn't play good enough down the stretch. If I just win 2 or 3 of those games, maybe we're in. So I thought he was pretty good.
All right. I could buy Quick. Quick, I'll find. If you coach, you're forcing me a gun to my head to make a pick, I'll take Quick. That's a good.
Right. I'm not forcing you to make a pick, but the show is the picks.
Yeah, I'll give him a pick, but it just goes to show you the leader of the year award goes to the backup goalie. That's
it's a big position.
Oh, just like it was like the Mr. Ranger award was to him too.
He spends the most time on the bench.
Yeah, and Glenn Healy, it was a big part of the Rangers winning in '94, and he was the backup goalie.
Yeah,
but he used to be involved character-wise.
Sure, that's why I give him teammate of the year.
He's got the experience.
Right,
I did as well. Shout out to Paul for calling me out.
Could go either way.
Yeah.
pick, PJ. Don't let cousin Ed sway you because he's
No,
Well,
I
he
was
swayed me.
I was with
considered
him.
that a
I
backup
was with
goal
him,
is
but
worth
then
or something.
I was with him, but then I was like, I
God
gotta say,
forbid a fourth liner or a backup goalie does something and he gets an award.
He swayed me.
Someone who physically can't score a goal. God forbid.
I just think it's hard to lead a team when you play 25 games. You're not playing in the other games, you know.
It's still in the locker room. It's not just on the ice.
Yeah, what
No,
do you
I
mean?
know.
The ice.
That's
The
what
whole
I
award is
gave.
based off the ice and on the ice.
It's both. Yeah, it's both.
All right. So
The impact is lessened, is all. But yes, I do agree. I gave it to Quick. Okay, PJ swayed me. You didn't sway me with the JT stuff, but I'm swayed by Quick. I considered Trocheck too, but I just don't know. I mean, maybe next year. All right. Brian Leach, Offensive Defenseman of the Year award. What the hell is that? What was that?
the twig.
He had a twig in his beard or something. All right, the Brian Leach Offensive Defenseman of the Year award to the best offensive D of the season. We've only awarded this award one time last year, and all three of us picked Adam Fox. I also picked Adam Fox this year. Coach Ed, who you got?
How could you pick Adam Fox? He really deserved it, but no one deserved the leadership award.
Yeah, I mean, he had over 60 points. So
Yeah, I'm going with Adam Fox too. There's no one else on the team with it that I don't think has his offensive ability.
yeah, it's got to be him. He could be better, but he's still the best on the team.
It's a little crazy that on a down year he still had 60. Imagine
Yeah.
if their power play was clicking. It's just a completely different
I
season.
know, and he
Wild.
missed 10 games or so with that shoulder injury, and so yeah, I'm
It's
excited.
pretty pathetic.
If their power play was clicking, he could have had 80 points or better.
Yeah, it's pretty
Easily.
pathetic that Fox had, I think, 0 goals other than empty net goals for like 100 straight games or something like that. Is that wrong, PJ?
I think
100
I mean, that's I mean, probably more. I mean, probably not that many, but yeah, it was a good stretch there because I think
it was
he had
a lot of games.
If you include the playoff run, he had none there too. Yeah, so there was a decent stretch there where he.
It was like 60 games or 50 games or something with 0 goals other than an empty net goal, and he won the Offensive Defenseman of the Year award.
But he ended up finishing
finished
with a decent amount of goals. I think didn't he have
10
almost
goals, right?
almost 10? Yeah, which is
Yeah.
considering he had none like for the first 3 months, not bad.
He should score 15 to 20 goals every year. 10
I
goals.
can't believe how bad this team was this year when you think about it. You hear what we keep talking about? Like no one had any goals. Like Mika had 23 goals.
20 had
Aaron-
5 assists.
No, he had 8. I think he had 3 in the last week.
Yeah,
He had. Mika had 20 goals. 20 goals. That's it. It's pretty bad.
It's incredible.
Anyway,
It just goes
all
to
right.
show you how bad their power play was. That made the
The
difference in all those guys.
So
The Adam Graves Award. The Adam Graves Award goes to the best all-round forward. So we're looking at both sides of the puck here, not just offense, not just defense, but an all-around player. Little Ed, 23-24. He took Troche. 22-23 Zibanejad. Zibanejad again, 21-22. And before that, Artemi Panarin in 2020, 2021. And what's funny is I was listening to the last year's
That's
episode.
crazy. I don't know what.
And
I
you
was
were
thinking
like,
anyway.
and you said the exact same thing. You were like, I didn't take Panarin. And I said the exact same thing. I knew you were going to say it. I wish PJ clipped that because it was so funny. And then it was just like, you just forget how good Panarin was that year. Like that season, he was just unbelievable. So
He was good that year, back checking and stuff. That's why it's disappointing now how lazy he looks.
he was lifting sticks in the neutral
Yeah.
zone and Statsuk style, and it was crazy. He was
Yeah,
all
he
over the
was a
place.
different player, man. He was for sure.
But anyway, who's your pick this year?
This is a tough one. It really is. You know, I mean, like you said, like none of them really played good defense, and you know, like I'm gonna go off the board a little bit here, and I'm gonna give Carrick another trophy. You know, like he's on the fourth line. You know, like he can only do so much. offensively, and he did absolutely everything he could and then more offensively. And then, like his fourth line responsibilities didn't lack. He was in the lineup almost every night for the whole season, and he never lost his spot. If anything, he got a promotion. So like it's a weird pick to give your best offensive all around forward to a fourth liner, but so like that's all we got here.
I think it's a good pick. Frankly, I should have picked him. I didn't, but I didn't give Carrick any awards. I'm shocked looking back that was a mistake, but he definitely deserved it. And he had those games in the middle of the season where he was creating goals too. So I think it's an appropriate pick, and he did a lot of good stuff for this team. There's no question.
Wait, did someone pick Carrick before for something?
Yeah,
I did.
For
the most surprising player.
Yeah, you guys picked Carrick before for something. I don't remember. I wrote it down.
What? He just said it.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I did it for the Brancy Award, the most surprising player.
The Brancy Award. Okay. All right.
Way to pay
Coach.
to the guy.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted for a second. Coach, you took Trocheck, Kreider, and Strome.
Stromer.
Stromer the gamer, baby.
I'm going to go with Carrick also. I don't think he's a. I don't think
There's
he's
no way you picked Carrick before Little Ed picked him. There's just no way.
Well,
I agree.
I was actually going to give it to Cooley, but I gave Cooley the award already, and Carrick deserves it. I don't think he's a fourth line. I think he's a definite third line center. I think he would do well on a very antagonizing third line.
Year?
What's that?
Where's Brodzinski going to play next year?
Brodzinski's. I don't know. He might be a winger. He might be a fill-in guy. It's going to be interesting to see what Sully does because he's another guy that would play well into Sullivan's game.
He's a consistent player, man.
Well, you just set me up for my pick.
How about Carrick? Brodzinski, and Barad on the line?
It sounds like a good fifth line, Coach, on a championship team.
That's a line that's going to freaking forecheck.
Sounds like a Hartford first line and power play right there.
No, I like Carrick on the fourth line between Rempe and Edstrom, and then you got to go with. Well, I mean, we'll talk about this in the preview.
Yeah. So I took Johnny Brodzinski. Shockingly, last year I took Trocheck. The year before that, Mika. The year before that, Kreider. The year before that, Panarin. It's a shame that we've gotten to the point where we're no longer taking those guys for this award. But I went with Brodzinski. I just think he plays whatever role he's given, and he plays it well. When he plays a fourth line role, he's solid defensively. When he's on the power play, he shoots the puck. He scored 12, 13 goals this year in very limited minutes. Plays center, plays wing, PKs, power play. I mean, I gave it to him. I thought he was pretty consistent all year. The guy's established himself as an NHL player now, and he's no longer that quadruple A guy, and he's a little Ed fave, so.
His goals per 60 minutes are up there. I mean, not just with the Rangers, but I think league-wide, which is pretty crazy. He's scoring in short minutes.
If anyone can help me down a Brodzinski Wolfpack jersey.
Yeah.
It'll be very special.
That would be a great jersey to get, but I went with Brods. All right, PJ, who'd you get for this one?
I went Cooley. I just figured, he was good on the offensive end for the majority of the season, and even defensively early on. If we forget when he was on the Hedl, Cooley, and Kakko line, they didn't give up a goal for hundreds of minutes for a long time while they were together. Cooley killed penalties, and I'm not the biggest proponent of plus minus, but considering the minutes he played, he was plus 12. That's not bad on how many goals this team gave up.
Yeah, that's a good pick. All right. Speaking of Will Cooley, our Jesper Foss Key Contributor of the Year award given to the player with the best intangibles that positively impact the roster. Coach,
there's too many awards.
I hate to go to you first.
Wait, didn't you just go to me?
All right, I'll go back to PJ. PJ, who's your key contributor of the year award? Give coach someone to piggyback off of.
We're rebounding off each other. I went Brodzinski for this one. I just figured, down the stretch, he was playing a lot of minutes, a lot of games in a row, and seemingly scored a couple of big goals down the stretch when they were in it. I think of the game against Minnesota, the game against Vancouver at home with Sam Rosenday. So I just felt like he was scoring some big goals when they needed it down the stretch.
Yeah, I like the Brodzinski. I could have done that. I agree. That's a good one. I initially had Will Cooley for this, which is why I said speaking of Will Cooley, but I'm changing it to Sam Carrick because I didn't pick him for anything, and I do think he deserves it for all the reasons Little Ed discussed during the all-around forward convo. Last year I took Trocheck. The year before that, VC. The year before that, Lindgren and Kreider. Those are my picks. So, Coach, last year you had Jonathan Quick. The year before that, Lindgren, Laffy, and Kakko. So you went with the young guys early in their careers in those third-line roles, and then the older guys. They keep getting older and older as the years go on. So who you got this year as your key contributor?
I'm going with the quadruple A player, Johnny Brodzinski.
Love it.
It's going to be an interesting training camp because you think they're picking the team now. You think Sullivan's that kind of a guy, like say Herb Brooks picking the team ahead of time, or do you think it's going to be like a hard tryout? Because Brodzinski will come out on fire in the tryout. He'll come out he'll be killing it.
I think it's going to be similar where they just have like a few spots, like it's all going to depend on like obviously what they decide to do with Panarin. I mean, we're going to get into it with the stay and go,
True.
Yeah, I still feel
like you think they're figuring it out now. They think they're saying we got to get rid of Panarin because we're going to move this guy here. That you know what I mean? They got to be plotting it somewhat. They have to have it on a dry erase board going.
Like I said before, I think Sullivan knows the formula, and there might be some players around the league or even on the Penguins that he might just say, "You got to get this guy."
It's got to be a checklist.
Yeah, you have to figure before Sullivan was hired, Drury probably had some moves in mind, but I'm sure he's has some input and that could potentially change a couple of things that maybe Drury thought. But you got to figure they're adding at least one forward.
You think there's any chance that they talked at Four Nations, like at a dinner, just the two of them, and like said, did he say I'm going to leave? What I want you. What are we going to do? And that's why he signed Vakanainen and Borgen. There's a couple of guys.
Come on,
a couple of signings are suspect that they're his type of players.
I mean, they might have talked because they were there together, but I don't. There's tampering, I guess, or soft tampering, whatever Ottawa said, but.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was like, hey, if you leave Pittsburgh, we want you or something. But I doubt it was beyond that,
Right.
I don't know.
All right. Coach is in true form today. He's got his the earth is flat. We didn't land on the moon hat on.
I'm not like that. Trust me, I'm not like that. I just feel like they're signing players that, they get JT Miller. They're signing guys,
Or maybe, Coach, him and Drury just think alike. And that's why they're going to be.
That's it. That's a good sign then.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about our next award. Oh, wait. Did we do Little Ed?
I'm going with Brodzinski. You guys.
I don't think we did anybody.
What are we talking about at this point? All right. Next, 3 awards left. All right. Offensive Forward of the Year. So just looking at offense, the Marian Gaborik Offensive Player of the Year award. Previous winners. This is the second year we've given this out. Panarin. All right, Coach. Who's your Offensive Forward of the Year?
It's got to be Panarin. Who else could it be on this team? I mean, even though he kind of had a quiet year, for him, he was still dynamic offensively.
Yeah, I know. It's got to be Panarin. He had a ton of even strength points as well. I think he had a down year as well, but it's just the way it is. There's no one better.
I mean, there was a down year again and again because of no power play. Panarin has a lot more points. Kreider, they all do.
Yep. PJ.
Yeah, it's got to be Panarin, right? I mean, Did he have like his best year ever? No, but I mean, pretty amazing. Still would almost close to 90 points.
He didn't fart points out this year. I'll say that.
Yeah,
He didn't fart points.
He was
out, and that's the
really
difference.
good after Four Nations. I feel like he was the one guy. What did he have, like 31 points in the last 20 games or something crazy like that? He was pushing, at least offensively.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. All right, little Ed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, I want to go with JT Miller, but like he just didn't play enough games. But he was point per game pretty much. So, yeah, I go with Panarin.
Yeah.
Kills me. It kills me, but you got to do it.
Yeah. All right. So we're down
Keep
to
in
our
mind, it's
final
a regular season award.
We're down to our final 2 awards. I'm going to let you guys pick. Which one are we doing first, the MVP or the Doghouse?
We gotta save
MVP.
Doghouse for last so we can do the bark and
let's do it. Team MVP, the Rod Gilbert Most Valuable Player Award for the Rangers season. Okay. Well, I previously took Panarin, Zibanejad, Shesterkin, and Fox, and this year I gave it to Will Cooley because I just think he was the team's best player, and that's that. So, Will Cooley for me, Coach.
I'm shocked.
Last year you had Trochees, Zibanejad, Panarin. Those are your previous picks. So you got this year.
Well, I'm going to make PJ very happy. He might start, crying in joy. But without having Igor back there, it would have been even worse this season. So without him, he would be the most valuable player.
God.
Can somebody create a compilation of all the stress that Coach put PJ through for the last 4 or 5 months during the episodes, criticizing Shesterkin, saying this, that, saying that, and then clip at the end that comment? I just want it all together just so you guys can see what we deal with.
I'm so proud of you, Coach. You made me very happy. You made my night.
What? I'm not saying he played his best, but without him, they would have been worse.
It wasn't good enough.
All I said.
That's why I didn't take it.
I'm still going to argue everything I did with PJ in those discussions. He should have made certain saves at certain times. But without him, they wouldn't have been near where they are now.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but he wasn't good enough. All right, PJ.
I mean, come on. It's got to be Igor. I mean, it's tough because it was such a shitty season. But, I mean, yeah, like Coach said, he at least, down the stretch, he was the one busting his ass every night. Did whatever he could, still put up really respectable goals saved above expected. Yeah, of course he could be better.
PJ, now he just ruined it.
But no,
he had to say the word expected. You had.
Sorry, they would have been bottom 5. They would have been where Buffalo, Pittsburgh was easily. Flyers, maybe worse without him.
Little Ed, I saved you for last. It's only because we value your opinion. Panarin, Shesterkin, Fox are your last 4 picks. Who you got?
You just gotta go with what? What's so funny?
He just looks so annoyed. You're like,
me?
Oh. Yeah, he's like, Jesus, I don't want to pick this.
I don't want to pick anything.
I know.
Let's just go with Cooley and just end it there.
Yeah, Cooley. I agree.
He was the most exciting player for me to watch. I mean, I turned the game on. I look forward to watching him play and just keep on this path because, like I said before, he's got the most promise. I love his style of play. I tried to pick these awards by just kind of picking them in a vacuum, if you will.
Unreal. Cooley, great year. All right, so this is the moment everyone's been waiting for. Coach Ed's Copyright Doghouse Award for the entire season. Let's get the bark in. And Coach Ed's Doghouse is sponsored by Suter Sweet Treats. We love Suter Sweet Treats. Check them out online. Use code EDPOD for 10% off your order plus a Doghouse cookie. They're great. Meg sent me a huge box, and I opened it with my wife, and it was just toys and book with a personal note in it. Not that she's going to do that for you guys if you order cookies, but she's just a great human being. Really appreciate her and her sister, and they do a great job. Their cookies are unbelievable. So order those cookies. They're amazing. I can't say enough about them. Go on, even if you don't use the code. They're just phenomenal people. And
I need to try one of those bad boys.
yeah, it's just I just can't say enough good things. It's funny after you open the box, and my wife looks at me and she's like, they just don't make people like this anymore. And that's exactly how I feel about that. It's an unbelievable gesture. And on top of that, the cookies are good. It's not just that they're good, so buy their cookies, but they're good. So, all right, Coach. This is yeah, exactly. Be ready to size up. This is your award, Coach. So you are going to start.
She makes the Little Ed sugar-free keto cookies too. So if you're not looking to size up, Chris, that's where you want to head.
Let's size up in a different way.
And the cowboy cookies.
Yeah, she makes sugar-free protein cookies.
Yeah. All right. So order those cookies, Coach. This is your award. Your previous winners, to no one's surprise, in the 24 season, you took Keandre Miller. In 23, Philip Heedle. In 22, Philip Heedle. And in 21, Pavel Bushnevich. So go ahead, give me your doghouse for the 25 season.
And I'm 4-0 on those picks, boys.
I don't know how you took Heedle in 22, 23. He had like almost 50 points.
Yeah, I know. He just hated him. He hated Heedle.
Anyway,
The only reason you didn't take Heedle last year, per the episode that I listened to, was because he got injured. That's what you said. You said the only reason I'm not taking Heedle is because I feel bad that he got hurt, and then you took Keandre.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so I don't think it's going to be any surprise that I'm going to take Keandre. But my reasoning behind it is this. He should have been, with his ability and the way he was headed, he should have been up to win 3 or 4 of these awards. He got the chance to play with Adam Fox. Could you imagine being on a team and they move you up to play with Adam Fox and you still don't succeed with his ability?
Well, he did succeed.
He had
they
the
just
chance
didn't keep
to
playing
be.
in that
He had the
role.
chance to be offensive defenseman. He had the chance to be come out player of the year. He had the chance to be possibly an MVP type of play. He could have been 4 awards.
That's fair.
And he wasn't able to get one of them with his ability. And this was his 4th season or 3rd?
This is
I think
fifth
it's
year,
4.
think.
2021, 22, 23.
Just say the last number.
5 this season.
2021, 21, 22, 22, 23.
You wonder why the episode goes to 3 hours.
just cut those years off, and it'll be a 90-minute episode instead of the 120. Clip
So
that
for
years.
those reasons, that's why I'm going with Keandre. Do
But
I
Coach,
hope
you say
next
he was-
year he breaks out with everybody else on the team? Yes. I just don't see it happening.
You say he wasn't successful with Fox, but all the numbers show that was one of the best pairs in the league.
Then
Why
why
didn't
didn't
they
they stick with it?
season?
Because they're obsessed with putting Lindgren and Fox. I don't know.
Stop. Don't say because they're
They
obsessed.
should have stayed with it.
Because he's not as good as the stats lead on.
Yeah, no, that's true. I agree with that. He makes
As
boneheaded
Gretzky-
plays that the stats won't pick up.
As
So
Gretzky says,
I
stats
get
are
it.
for losers.
what are his pass the puck? Like, what are his forget how to play hockey while controlling the puck in the middle of a game per 60? Like, it's got to be off the charts,
Literally.
Like that overtime pass that he made. What the hell?
I mean, come on, man. The guy should be phenomenal the way he can.
You're giving me
Carrying
some
the puck in the
PTSD,
neutral
cousin Ed.
zone and forgetting what to do with it per 60.
All right, little Ed, we'll let you follow that. I didn't mean to interject, but the whole Keandre didn't stay with Fox because he sucks. I'm going to challenge that narrative. Chris, tell me the stats. You're there.
It's not
I'm sure
about,
you know all of it.
Listen, you could go ahead. Give him whatever. Go with the stats.
No, the stats matter, but it's not just the stats. I agree. It's more than the stats. But
It's
little
more
Ed,
than the stat. It's more than the stats. You can go with yes, whatever the defensive metrics, this, that, and the other, but it's about a balanced defensive lineup. You're not going to put two offensive-minded defensemen together as your top pair. That's going to get you nowhere in the playoffs, period. Okay, so just move on from that. And that, going with that actually is you always say, oh, we got to find a good pairing for Fox. We're looking for a good left-handed defenseman for Fox, someone who could play gritty, who can be physical for Fox, so Fox could spread his wings. We have that with Keandre Miller. If he could just play physical, or maybe not go to Pilates with his girlfriend and two other girls, and maybe go to the gym and lift a weight. Like that is just insane to me. That like he is posting that on his social media.
No, if you're
gonna post that, listen, I love yoga. Don't get me wrong. Yoga is one of the hardest workouts in the world. But just don't post it on your social media or let your girlfriend media.
He muted himself. Got so pumped.
It's a shame too, because this is such a good rant, but he just lost all audio. Look, he's still going.
I respect.
Oh, this is great. You got to clip this. Look how mad he is. Come on,
can't
Ed.
perform like that in this season and then have like the like awareness. You like the
Ed,
what?
You cut out for that whole rant. Can you bring it back from the beginning?
God.
No,
I
we
don't
heard
even
the
know
beginning.
what was the last thing you heard? You heard.
Don't let your girlfriend post it on social media or something.
Yeah, like I said, if you're not going to follow it up with like another workout video of you actually lifting weights or doing something as like an NHL workout on the ice, anything, just be like, listen, babe, I love you. Just please don't post that. Like I'm going through a lot of shit with the media right now. I don't need that out there. That's it.
Drew's going to use that as negotiation. What is this picture?
Yeah. Little Ed. You
want
year.
You want 6x6 as what kind of defenseman? And this is what you're doing in the off season?
Little Ed last year brought up the Instagram photos of his girl on the beach at Fort Lauderdale when they played the Panthers.
It's the same.
So he goes. Keandre took those pictures, and all I could think about is every single picture my wife posts like that, she makes me take those pictures. So it's 100% Keandre took those pictures. There's no question. They lose that heartbreaking game. He's going to the beach taking pictures of his girl after the game. Crazy.
Have end of a heartbreaking season. The first thing he posts or reposts on Instagram is them at Pilates together.
I'm not disputing that.
Wait, what was the one thing
horrible.
Lundqvist said in every speech is when they retired his number, Hall of Fame, he said, I apologize to my wife because every time I lost and I had to come home, you couldn't even talk to me.
It's the exact same thing you said last year. Let's just clip that episode into this one.
It's the truth. He should have this. You should say, damn it, I got to get to look at, I got to do film. I got to talk to the guys.
Every player is different, Coach. Every player is different. I get it. Look, I don't care about that so much.
Yeah,
it's a mentality.
If you want
it's a mentality.
If you want the 6x6, like Eddie said, then you got to effing show it.
Reeling it back in. He has all the abilities and the body and the frame to be a dynamic, like you said years ago, a Victor Hedman style defenseman.
He should be.
And he's just not even. He's not even in the same like conversation to me anymore. It's not even close.
And Victor Hedman played the whole series with a broken leg better than Keandre.
It might be a little old school. I know the NHL is getting faster and more whatever, limber and whatever. Like, just listen. It starts in the gym. These guys got to get strong. They got to get bigger. It's not college. It's not the NCAA anymore. They're going up. Look at the playoffs, dude. Like, just you look at the playoffs on TV every night. These guys are a different breed, and Keandre's not there.
I can't disagree. Can't disagree with a lot of that.
The reason why I'm so hard on him and not the other players. The reason why I'm so hard on him and not the other players is this is like his second or third season of this nonsense. The other players, you could be like, all right, it's an off year, it's mental, blah, blah, blah. I don't see it happening ever with his like style of play or his defensive structure, his defensive awareness, like we always joke about. It's just not there at all.
This is like 10 minutes of ranting about Keandre. It's so
I mean,
funny.
he was waiting all day for this award. We knew it.
I'm driving from
the
client
only
to client with a mental of like what I'm gonna say on the pod. You guys wonder why I'm so quiet in the chat, in the group chat? I'm just
when I'm in
taking mental
therapy,
notes.
like nobody listens to me. This is why. All I'm saying is Keandre was with Fox, did not get a full slate of an opportunity there. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think he was good. I'm not saying he earned it. I'm not saying any of that, so we don't have to argue about that. I just think the numbers show the Rangers were way better when that pair was on the ice than when they were not. I think they had like 19 goals for and 12 against what that pair on the ice or something like that. They played a very limited amount of games. Once Lindgren was healthy, he took that spot and the team had a free fall. So I don't know. I mean, it just coincides. And Keandre had a free fall and everybody had a free fall after that. So maybe they should have just left it. I don't know if he'll even be on the team for us to get a chance to
I don't
see.
necessarily disagree with you, but game 10 or whatever it was is a lot different than game 60. And like I said, it's more about balancing it out. Like like to me, like I said, I know I'm more of an eye test person, but a player like Lindgren is better off playing with a player like Fox. A player like Miller doesn't work for me, at least in the towards the end of the season, crunch time, and in the playoffs. Unless Miller starts playing a little bit different style of play.
Spoiler alert, Little Ed also took Keandre.
Here's the stat I want Mike Keller to come up with. What was Igor's goal saved above expected with Fox and Miller on the ice? Because Igor in those first 10 games was playing lights out. That's how they were doing well.
Maybe.
And when Igor,
you can look that up, Coach. That's available on the internet.
Well, I'm not going to. That's not my job.
It's out of his jurisdiction.
You guys, after Igor came back to earth for a little while, PJ won't be happy with that. I get it, but then it changed.
I mean, hey, I gave him a B-. I was critical.
I'm just saying. So what? How well did they play? How well did Igor save them? How much did he save them?
We'll talk more about Keandre in the stay or go section. Let's get off this. Little Ed took Keandre.
I can't believe we still have to do that.
Wait, yeah, I was trying.
Can we do the stay or go when we do the draft? The draft episode.
We might have to postpone the stay and go.
We could postpone stay or go, sure, but then we got to at least get the false question. All right, so Little Ed previously is Zibanejad, Lafreniere, Kakko, and Brett Howden. The Little Ed curse of
hard on Brett Howden for no reason.
The Coach Ed's doghouse curse. So Brett Howden, 2020, 2021. So how many years did it take for him? So it's 5 years. Kakko, 21, 22. Now that means next year Kakko's going to win a cup or be a stud. Laffy in 27 on a different. He'll get traded and go, and then it continues. So we can look forward to
who's
Keandre and these are Little Eds in 5 years.
Did he go already?
Figuring out. Huh? Yeah, he took Keandre.
Oh,
there's no question. He just ranted for 10 minutes about I hope he took him.
Did he go?
Drives me crazy.
Coach started doing that rant.
No, okay. So aside from that, here's my actual pick.
Him and.
All right. So PJ, who's your doghouse pick?
Oh man, I honestly I think we talked about this. We all had to limit to one person because it could have been 10, 12, pretty much everyone except for Cooley maybe or Carrick. But I went Loff. How could you? It was just so disappointing. I was so excited. We said this so many times. I'm so excited going into the season. Started out well, had an amazing playoffs, built off of that, signed the contract, and just went down the tank with everybody else. And it was just there was one stretch. What did he have? 1 goal in 30 games or 2? It was unfathomable.
What happened to this team this year? This is
terrible.
Insane.
It was horrific.
I thought coming into this year, 30 goals, 60 points was easily attainable. He had 28 and 57 last year,
And he was unlucky.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a video out there from Dimitri.
Toronto just beat Florida, by the way. They're up 2-0 now.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
A little preview on my bracket, looking pretty good there.
And you nailed that.
4-3.
But there was a video last year from Dimitri Filipovic on Twitter, and he put together just how good Lafreniere, like he put like it was like a 5-minute video of chances he either had himself or created that he didn't get points on, in addition to almost having 60. Like he was severely unlucky last year. So you just think about that. He could have, pushed that last year. And then so this year you figured, oh yeah, with the extra confidence. Oof. And he's so vital. We'll get to stay and go another episode, I guess, but he's a tough one, but you don't really want to give up on him. His value's an all-time low either.
Yeah. No, it's a good pick. He was bad. Another guy. This whole team. This is really hard.
Yeah, last year was the worst, but man. Oof.
Last year, on 24, I took Mika Zibanejad. 23, I took Lafreniere. 22, I took Georgiev, and 21, I took Howden. This year, I'm going back to back Mika. I know I hear you guys on Keandre and on Lafreniere, but for me, you saw my bold prediction earlier. You should have saved that clip for now, PJ. I predicted this kid to score 40 goals this year, and 20 goals. I just think his play from late October through January was so bad. He led the league in plus minus, which I know is a stupid stat, but it was earned. He was on for, it felt like every goal against, big goals against, didn't cover the front, wasn't strong on the puck, wasn't strong on the stick, didn't shoot, and when he did shoot, it was high and wide, just horrible all around. All the things that he's known for doing well, he did not do well. Now, he said after the season, it was the hardest stretch of his career, but I ask again, what happened that was so hard? Unless there was something personal that we don't know about, which obviously we shouldn't comment on anything then if that's the case, right? So I'm not going to presume there was. But with that exception, what happened? They waived some guys, so you lost your head and couldn't play hockey? He's so vital to this team. I don't get it, dude. He's so vital to this team. He is their true number one center. He is that guy, and he was not even close to that, to the point that they had to trade a first-round pick and get JT Miller. And go get JT Miller and move him to wing because he was so bad at his job. I mean,
imagine if we had Miller, Zibanejad, Trocheck.
That's what it should be.
Carrick.
And Carrick.
Carrick, yeah.
We wouldn't be having this conversation.
Dude, looking at these awards and how they progressed, okay, you just look at it. Little Ed, 21-22 season. Mika Zibanejad, all-around forward of the year. Sorry, I keep doing it, Coach. All-around forward of the year. 22-23, MVP of the team. Me and Coach Mika Zibanejad. Right? That, and then to go from that to doghouse back-to-back years, not even sniffing an award for Coach Ed in 24, the year they win the President's Trophy. I mean, the downfall of this guy is just stark, and he's got to figure it out, because if he said he won't get traded, he's not going to waive his no move clause. Well, then he better play better, or they should scratch him. Honestly, if he's not back to, they got to scratch him. If he won't get traded, that was funny. If he's not going to accept the trade and get a change of scenery so this team can improve, and he plays like he did this year, Sullivan should scratch him. Will he do that? Will he do that? Because he's going to have to. I hope it doesn't come to that.
I was watching, I got it in a hole because someone sent me a TikTok of the Penguins Rangers series in 21-22. Holy shit. Mika's a different player. I mean, he was
completely different,
flying up and down the ice. Even when he, early in that playoffs, I remember the first 5 games he didn't score, he was still creating tons of looks and chances. He's so dangerous. I mean, I remember Kreider calling him the engine. It was like a shell of a player. Even that is like understatement.
Well, he had his hair flying while skating down the ice and all that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, unbelievable. It's sad because that's why he got that contract before 21-22. He was
that's what I keep telling people. He earned that contract for his play. There's no question. That was a fair market value deal, if not a deal for the Rangers at the time he signed it. It was below market, if anything, at the time he signed that deal. That was supposed to age well. That wasn't supposed to become an albatross in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So
not this.
Well,
I
we
remember I was
understand
on
well towards
vacation.
the
I was in like Turks and Caicos or something, and I saw the note, and I remember texting you guys, being like, "Oh my god, like this is a great deal. What a good price for him, you know, compared to other centers. Like this is below market. He took a team-friendly deal." I remember saying all these things.
All right. So, what were his points the last 2 months of the season?
He had close to a
Coach,
point a game.
Top of my head, I have no idea.
Look, I think he's gonna. Again, not to pump up JT, but he started playing hockey. Let's see if it starts in the beginning of next year if he's still here.
Well, unfortunately, the awards here are not for half a season.
I understand, but I'm
team
saying
went
we're
4 and
talking about
15.
the
It's for the
player in
whole
general.
season.
I'm just saying, I think he can come out of it. I think he
Sure,
showed
I hope
signs of
he
Needs
getting
can.
to, because if he's going to stay, he has to.
I don't know if he's
I
going to
really
be a
hope
center.
so.
They might keep him at wing, but I think he can come out of it.
I hope so because he's a great PKer, and he could lead a second power play unit. I'm fine with that.
There's a lot.
but
He's got a lot to offer. So let's see what happens. Again, it's
I
a
hope
different
so.
season. If
Cousin
Tanner
was
knows
right
what
though.
time
He
to go in.
he epitomized the Rangers' horrific season in those 2 or 3 months. I mean, just he was mopey. His play on the he was just so ineffective in every facet. It was just
Yeah, I'm
beyond-
not saying he doesn't deserve the doghouse, but I'm saying he showed signs of life. If we're gonna just dabble into next year, that's all I'm saying.
Let's hope.
I can get on board with that, coach, and I'm rooting for him because I really do like the player when he is playing well. I think he's awesome. He was one of my favorite players. Sad what's happened to him, but we'll see what happens. All right, so we're gonna save stay or go for another day, but let's get to Paul's question before we do the bracket updates. He asked it earlier on about Artemi Panarin. Dave Pagnota from the fourth period reported the Rangers are considering moving Artemi Panarin. Wants our thoughts on that. So, Coach, just generally, I'll let you lead the way on this because I know how you feel about Panarin. So,
I mean, I do feel that I have no problem with them letting him go. I've been saying it for a year or two. But they're going to have to get the value, like you keep saying about. We're not giving him away for a 3rd and 4th round pick. He's obviously he's proven to be 100-point-a-year player, which is pretty rare in this league. So he's got to have some really good value. We have to get a star plus a number 1 or something, in my opinion. It's got to be up there. We're not just giving him away.
yeah. I mean, look, Panarin's got 1 year left on his deal, 11.6 million, 11 million. Actually, for some reason, $11,642,857 is his average annual value. For whatever reason that is. But Little Ed, he's got a full no move clause, meaning he cannot be traded, sent to the minors, or waived without his permission. So, I mean, do you think I know you'd probably be open to moving Panarin too, but do you think it's like actually a viable thing that he'd be willing to consider that?
I would say
that I
I
don't
mean, yeah, I mean, I would say absolutely not. He's probably got a beautiful house in Connecticut. I mean, unless there's like a really bad situation in New York that like he just doesn't want to be a part of. But I don't really foresee that. Like, like even if like something, he's still going to stick it out for the rest of the year. I don't think he's going to be like, trade me here, because then because with what Coach had just said, like any player with a no move clause, like they always say, like you're bent over a barrel with them. Like they say, okay, I want to go. Like even if like say Dallas is making a run next year and he wants to go play with Ranton or whatever, it's like, all right, if you only have one player or one team on your list, they're not going to give up much to get you. I mean, unless they really, really, really want him, or someone really, really wants him. But like I said, that's not going to happen until the trade deadline. No one's going to do that over the summer.
Yeah, the only thing I could see is like he likes Florida. He almost signed there, but Florida has no 1st round pick until 28.
Yeah, and they're not going to give up anybody that, like Coach had just said, like someone that we would want as fans or what the Rangers need as a team. Like it's just
don't say that because they did go Huberdeau for Kachuk. That was a blockbuster.
Yeah, but who do they have now that they would?
Well, I'm saying it
right
depends
now
if they
have
win
the pieces that they want.
It depends.
I'm looking at a
happens
team
in
like
playoffs.
LA. I'm looking at a team like LA. It's a Southern Cal team. I know it's the other side of the country, but it's a nice city to live in, a big city, good weather, similar to Miami, right? So I could see Panarin being interested in going there. I don't know if they have a Russian community. LA is probably going to want to make changes. They've lost 4 straight years to Edmonton. They got some cap space, and they have some young players that if I were GM, I'd be interested in. Like, I know you guys are putting in the chat, trading for a first-line forward, but I don't think that's what the trade would be. I think I would love to get Brant Clark at LA. And I know that he's kind of been in the doghouse there, so to speak, in and out of the lineup, but he's a big kid, good prospect, young right-handed defenseman. He scored a nice goal in the playoffs, showing his skill a little bit. So if LA is willing to give him up, plus a first, plus maybe a depth forward, I would try to move Panarin. Honestly, I would try. I don't think he'll waive, but I would try something like that. I would be very interested in, because then what you can do is you plug Clark into your D, and then you can move Keandre for that top 6 forward. You can look at Minnesota for Rossi or Buffalo for Peterka or something like that, and you kind of do the D for the forward trade and then the forward for the D trade. I think that's the approach I would take. If you're going to move Panarin, you're freeing up a lot of cap space. It's enticing going into this offseason. You do got to replace those points, though. I mean, 100 points a year, 90 points a year is nothing to sneeze at. So someone's going to have to score. Maybe that's JT Miller, coach. Like you said, he was point a game after he came here. So maybe they already did that by getting JT Miller. I don't know.
You got to. I like whoever just suggested that. I like getting that Kempe kid.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, for sure. I would love Adrian Kempe on the Rangers. I don't see that.
I can see LA. You're right about LA, though.
That's the type of player you got to get from Panarin.
But they're not going to trade him. Panarin has 1 year left on his deal. He's not worth it.
Rangers fashion will get Kopitar.
Oh my God!
Oh God!
You got
I love Kopitar.
No, but
I go for something like Turcotte, Brant Clark, and a first plus a third for Panarin and like Zach Jones or something like that. You got to just kind of maneuver it like that. Something with young D coming in. You're not getting Byfield. You're not getting Kempe. You're not getting those guys for Panarin. He's got a year left on his deal. It's just not happening.
But I think LA is an interesting team because they lost 4 seasons in a row to Edmonton.
And the GM's gone. New guy in. They might want to make changes.
I could see them make some moves. That does make jive it a lot. But boy, did they blow that series. Oof. They had them on the ropes.
I don't know why it's fun to watch that. Like I was telling you this about Toronto. Like when Toronto collapses, I enjoy it, but I also enjoy when they pull out and they win. Like when they pull it out. So I don't know. It's like certain teams I just kind of like to watch them crumble, but I also like if LA would have won, that would have been exciting too. It's just fun hockey, man.
I think we were all secretly rooting for Ottawa to win that game 6 to force that game 7 in Toronto after they were up 3-0. That would have been just must-watch TV.
Oh yeah.
No, I was rooting for Toronto.
I wasn't rooting for that at all.
I was PJ. I'm with you on that.
Thank you.
I was rooting for Toronto.
I know, but like I'm with Cuz. Like you're rooting for Toronto, but you also want like those dramatics and like there's something about
if they collapse again, that would be.
You don't really want another. I love Toronto. I love the players on Toronto, but I don't necessarily want another original 6 team to win again before the Rangers.
Yeah, I can get on board.
Well, where are the Rangers going to be as far as Stanley Cup drought if Toronto wins this year?
That's what I mean.
Where are they, PJ?
I don't know off the top of my head. The Montreal was 93, so the Rangers have them beat.
Yeah.
Boston was 2011.
11.
Definitely wasn't Boston.
Toronto was in the 70s, 60s or 70s, right? Detroit was.
Philadelphia's in the 70s.
Philadelphia's not original 6, though.
Oh, I'm not saying original 6. I was just saying any team. Sorry. Just drought. Just the longest drought in the league.
Longest drought.
And take away the teams that have never won because those are.
I think it is.
Toronto right now is, but if they win this year, who's the longest drought? Was my question.
I think it's in Philly. Maybe. I have to look it up. I don't know off the top of my head. Philly is 75.
We stumped PJ.
Yeah, I have to look it up. Oh, wait. Well, yeah, Chris is right. Buffalo never won, but they came in the league, in the 80s? So that's not that long.
Buffalo late 70s, I think.
Were they?
I think so.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. It's Philly's 75, I think.
Well,
so
regardless, even if it's not the longest
years
drought,
almost,
1 in 85 years, it's just abysmal.
50. Philly's at 50 years right now, so they're up there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Buffalo was the late 70s, I think, because the Rangers played Buffalo. I'm pretty sure they played Buffalo in the opening round when they went to the finals in 78.
All right, well let's pull it
In the
up on the Google
77,
machine.
78, in
Worth
the
a Google.
77, 78 season.
Worth a Google, Coach, to see what the actual answer is.
I'm
Well,
going
in
with
the meantime-
77. I'm going
Doesn't
with
matter.
Fuck out of
Doesn't
it.
matter because the Mammoth are gonna win the cup for the Rangers too.
Oh my God, they're totally gonna win the cup before.
Can you imagine?
And the Kraken.
Wait, cuz you'll like this one. You see that thing floating around? It says, "Looking forward to the battle of extinct white ice age era creatures with large
Yeah.
sharp."
Yeah, the Predators and Mammoth. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then just add the
Battle with the
Kraken
Tusk.
into that too. It's like these mythical creatures. They're cool names. I like the Mammoth. Did you see they're bringing back a mammoth though? The scientists, you saw
They're
that?
trying to, yeah, or cloning or whatever.
It's crazy. Anyway, all right, let's do our bracket up.
Mammoth
Mammoth
will be
isn't
Jurassic
mythical.
Park in
The
real
Mammoth
life.
existed.
They're bringing it back. It's extinct, Coach.
No, when you said it's funny with all these mythical creatures, the mammoth is not a mythical creature.
No, I meant like ancient or mythical creatures.
Oh, okay.
Like, I didn't mean like they never existed.
Mythical.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what I said exactly, but
You want me to read it back to you?
yeah, can you read it back? Oh. All right, let's do our bracket update and wrap this up. We're approaching 2 hours here. PJ, you got the bracket open?
I do. I have the graphic, but I have the everything else open. Hold on.
All right, and our bracket challenge is sponsored by Sorrento's of Long Beach. So while you're watching the playoffs, if you're in the Long Beach area especially, make sure you order Sorrento's. They got Italian food, they got pizza. I mean, whatever you need, you can go in person. You can also order it. Little Ed, where are they? Beach Street?
Yep,
I just forget.
Beach Street in the West End. Yep.
New York Avenue.
Question
Yeah,
for
Coach
boxing
Ed's got it
fan.
on,
This one's for
whatever.
Coach. This one's for Coach Ed. Question from boxing fan. When are they bringing back dinosaurs? It's a good question.
Didn't they already do that in Jurassic Park?
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen at some point.
They should name a team after a dinosaur. Oh, they did. The Raptors in basketball. Yeah, I was gonna say there should be some like dinosaur team names.
The mammoth is technically a dinosaur, isn't it?
Yeah, why do you keep
It's
ignoring
not
it?
a dinosaur. What
It's
are
not
you
a
talking
dinosaur.
about?
It's prehistoric.
It's a mammal. It's not a dinosaur.
Dinosaurs are reptiles.
What?
Yeah, but sharks are dinosaurs, and they're not. They're
It's prehistoric. That's a dinosaur.
Sharks are not dinosaurs.
Not everything prehistoric was a dinosaur.
Nah, you're saying I'm a dinosaur. I'm not
Semantics.
prehistoric.
PJ, thank God you are here because if not, it would be Little Ed and Coach Ed telling me the sharks are dinosaurs and me losing my mind. Thank you.
And this wraps up science with Rangers Ed.
Wait, you're telling me that those iguanas that were on the golf course aren't dinosaurs?
They have a lineage. They're reptiles. Dinosaurs are reptiles.
They're closer to dinosaurs than a fucking mammoth is. All right. Let's go. Bracket challenge.
Yeah, I got the updated
Where are we at?
standings. Yeah,
I don't know. I got to be up there because I went 7 for 8.
yeah, you're not wrong. Number 1, I'm gonna butcher this guy's name. Smolioli. That's what it says.
Can you put it up on the screen or no?
I can't. I just pulled it up on my phone. I wish I didn't create. I just pulled up the live standings. But he's number 1. He has the Capitals to win it all. He has 86 points right now.
Did you go 8 for 8?
It doesn't let me click his actual. Oh wait, it does. He went 1, 2, 3. Yes, he nailed all 8 first rounds.
Wow.
The only thing he didn't get
Wow.
was he got some of the games wrong, like one of the series were
whatever.
going to end. But
that
yeah,
doesn't matter.
so he did well. He's
Wow.
You got Caps. He's in first. Second
You got
place.
Dallas over Colorado. That's
Second place is Cousin Ed with 76 points.
let's go.
Still alive with the Leafs as his final.
But I will drop because I had Colorado going to the finals and losing to Toronto, and they're out in the first round.
Yeah, that
so
hurts.
I'm gonna lose some points there.
Number 3 is Hirsch 20. He's got 75 points, so he's nipping at your heels. He's got Edmonton winning it all.
Okay.
Number 4 is Mrs. 150. She
man.
has 72 points, but she's basically toast because she has the Avalanche winning it. But she had a good first round, I guess, other than that. And then number 5, there are 3 teams tied. Coach Hinckley, Ice Hockey 1 CS7, and Let's Go Rags, which if they're a Rangers fan, you can't use Rags. They have
Seriously.
Dallas, Jets, and Leafs respectively, and they all have 66 points.
All right, so why don't we skip now to where Little Ed, Coach Ed, and you are on the
Well, that's
Yes.
what I was going to say, but I didn't.
My
On the
Stanley Cup
bottom-
final.
and number
Little Ed-
6.
Little
And
Ed,
in 8th.
are you Basti? Are you Basti MYR, Little Ed?
No.
I don't know who that is.
Basti NYR is
And in
probably
12th place.
probably Sebastian, our
Okay, he's in last place.
German fan.
Yeah, he's in last place. Pick Tampa and NYR Ranger girl, which is that one of the Double D girls, right? Double
Yeah,
defense?
probably. Yeah.
He's they're both better than PK Subban, but in last place in our league.
And I'm third. I'm in third to last.
Am I on there? Or did I not?
I don't see you, man.
TJ, you're third to last. What'd you go? 2 for 8 or something?
Oh, I picked. Yeah, I had Toronto. I had Tampa going all the way.
No, but who else did you pick?
I had LA
Ooh.
and I had Ottawa and Tampa. So
So
I
you
had
had
LA
both
I
teams
had
that
LA
played in
and
the finals
Colorado.
losing. You had
Yeah.
both teams that went to the finals last year losing in the first round?
Yep. I just figured they played a lot of hockey, tough matchup. I mean, I had Avalanche
So did
Tampa
I.
in the final.
Me too.
Coach
Yeah,
is-
me and PJ
Coach
had
is
very
number,
similar brackets.
Yeah, coach is 10.
Okay.
He's alive. 59 points. He's in the battle.
Well, I have 50 points according to my bracket. I don't know what happened where it didn't submit into our.
Yeah, you must
league
not
or
have
whatever,
assigned
but
it to the league, but
I don't think I have a chance of winning, and I'm making the prize
Yeah, you-
anyway. So
yeah, it's okay.
Assign yourself to the league now.
I don't think I
I
could
don't
do
know if
that.
you can.
It don't matter. It's all good. I'll figure it out.
Where Paul's asking where he is in the standings.
Hold on, I'm pulling it back up. I just saw those questions after I closed it.
You can
A
look
A
at
lot
the
of people
league,
took
too, I
a
think.
lot of people
Everyone-
took Tampa and Colorado, and they're both out. It's crazy.
Where
I
are
took
we?
Colorado. I'm pretty sure.
I took them to go to the finals. Yeah. Dallas had all those injuries, and they still won. It's crazy. You saw McKinnon's comments, Coach, after the series.
Paul and Chris, what are your names? I don't see
No,
them.
we're not doing. We're
Yeah.
not doing this live on the show.
Hey, my wife is in 8th. That's not bad.
She's in
alive.
8th, and you're third to last.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone should be able to see the standings. I don't.
Next week.
Yeah, if you go
Yeah,
under
you can.
bracket, if you go bracket challenge, you can hit my league so you can see your standings. So
K Miska 92.
I just closed it.
All right, we're done.
Everyone check your own standings. Come on, what are we doing here? 2-hour
Yeah, yeah.
episodes.
Come on, Chris. You can give me the stat. You can give me a stat from fucking 20 years ago. You can find the standings.
And in 14th place.
How many
boys.
people? How many people are in the bracket?
I did 25.
You were going to go through every.
Solid.
No. I was just going top 5, and then I wanted to see where everyone, and then we did the bottom. What a boring podcast that would be. I started just reading everyone's names at the end.
Sorry, guys, for the last 8 minutes of this podcast.
I don't get like people are gonna be falling asleep in their cars when they're listening.
You gotta
back.
laugh, people. You gotta laugh.
Oh yeah.
All right, boys. Well, enjoy the rest of the playoffs. Yeah, I don't know what the schedule is coming up. I'm gonna be taking a brief hiatus from the show for a little bit, and I will be back. Obviously, you guys know my wife is pregnant, so yeah, wish me luck with that. I'll pop in when I can. We'll talk off season at some point. I'll drop my thoughts throughout the summer and Instagram, and I'll pop in when I can when we're recording and give my insight. But
You'll be holding baby Patrick there in the show.
yeah, I can't wait to share him with the world, and it's going to be great. So until then, it's a good time for me to take a break. It was a rough year as a fan of this team, and there's not much going on in Ranger World right now, at least. So I think it's the right move, and yeah, I'll miss you guys, and I'll be back when I can. And listen, if I can and I feel up to it, I'll hop in. So, thank you guys for the well wishes.
Yeah, we'll have some content for everybody with Stay and Go. We'll get back to, and then see
Well,
what
we
else.
got to have a pre-draft show. When is the draft? July?
June 27th, I think.
Yeah,
So we
June.
got to have a show there. We got to try
Yeah.
to schedule something.
100% will, and then we'll do that in free agency previews for sure.
I'll try to hop in for that one for sure. We'll figure it out. But for now, I'm just gonna do my thing here, and so last thing too, shout out to our sponsors and the listeners, obviously, but our sponsors for making the show possible this year. This is kind of our end of the year episode. Lucarelli Law. Without Lucarelli Law, this podcast doesn't exist. Financially, just helping us. And so if you are, when I say if you're in Florida and you need a lawyer, call Lucarelli Law. I actually mean that. Like, he's a great lawyer and a good friend, and really important part of the show. Shout out to Bella. That commercial, you can see how just good people they are, right? So if you're renovating in Long Island, let us know. Coach Ed will connect you to Bella, Old Country Tile as well. They're great, and all our sponsors make this show possible. Little Ed, you added. We had a couple other sponsors this year too that we added. Blue Line Blue shirts, right?
Yeah, Blue Line Blue shirts. Shout out to our buddy Mark. Took on the jersey profile towards the end of the year there. We're going to try to do some content with him over the summer, try to introduce a new segment. We're actually build off of our existing Inside the Ranger Room segment or whatever series that we didn't really do. So yeah, we got to set something up with Mark to go over to his Ranger Room and maybe film some content there. So shout out to him for sure. Thanks for keeping us safe in the dangerous town of Long Beach. And who else did we forget? Sorrento's, of course.
Broadway
always taking care of Coach Ed, and when I'm around as well. And like, their food is just unbelievable. Best pizza on Long Island, probably hands down, I would say.
Who's moving a microphone or something? Is that Coach shaking his microphone?
Not me.
I think I might have hit it by accident. My bad.
Oh, good.
Good.
I might be forgetting about someone else, but the
Broadway
biggest
Suitors Sweet Treats, the best.
What about Long Island Sports? Mike helping us out with the commercial shoots.
Yep,
yeah, Mike's great. Long Island Sports.
Yeah, Mike's gonna try to, or hopefully Coach Ed and Mike can get on the same page and film some more commercials, and we'll have some more stuff through Long Island Sports Network next year with YouTube and everything, hopefully, and we'll go from there. And Broadway Breakdown, of course, that's a great website to check out blogs for all New York sports, not just hockey. Nick and his crew do a great job releasing some articles that are very relative to what's going on in the news.
Yeah, and gets them out same day.
Yeah,
right?
just had one on live on Sully, and so some good content in there.
Yeah, the Knicks article out the night after they came back against Boston in Game 1, which they did again tonight, by the way.
I can't believe that. Wow. Good for them.
Yeah, he'll probably have another one tomorrow. He always tags us on Instagram with all of his posts and all the stories, so that's great. But the biggest person I wanted to give a shout out to was someone we lost this year, was Poppy O'Neill. He was an honorary member of the show and one of our biggest fans early on, and he will for sure be missed by all of our family and people that he's touched. And I said enough about him, and I don't want to start crying again, but shout out to Poppy O'Neill's calendar with all the trivia early on in this show. When we were really trying to just like create all the segments, he would always give us the newspaper articles, make sure we always had something to talk about. So it was in a really bad season, another low point for us as a show and as a family. And unfortunately, we had to say goodbye, and his memory lives on, and the show will live on with him as well. So,
well said. Well said. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back. I don't know, next week. We'll drop some content over the summer. We got interviews. We got our rivalry tour at the end of the summer, right before the season. We got previews for free agency and all that coming up. So check us out over the summer. Enjoy the Stanley Cup playoffs. But thanks for listening this season, and keep listening. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll definitely PJ and I will release some kind of a schedule. We'll probably take at least a week or two off, I think. Go from there. Definitely got to do the stay or go and talk trades and maybe an emergency episode if something happens. But
yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, fans, thanks for sticking with us. And yeah, we'll have some content this summer, I promise. And we'll talk to you soon.
We'll see who wins that plaque with the bracket challenge. Love
Yes.
you
Yeah, that
guys.
too.
Love the fans. Thanks
I
for
wish
the
I was doing
sponsors.
that.
You guys said it all.
All right. Let's go Rangers next
Let's go
year.
Rangers.
Next year, hopefully, God.
No quit.
Oh, wait. We didn't talk about the Islanders getting the first overall pick. Are we going to talk about that? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
All right. Have a good night, boys.
Wait. I said to my friend in the text, maybe they can pick a GM.
Oh, man. It's so good. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Have
Yeah.
a good night.